Hello, good evening, good morning. Um, Guys, today we have an amazing guest. We have Carl. What's the best name to pronounce her name?
Carl Weische.
Weische. Yeah, I mean easy for you, right? I mean, I'm like, but it's Carl is a tremendous value add. He is he's a top expert with conversion rate optimization, with how to convert users, like customer psychology, consumer psychology, how to pretty much make things happen, how to convert traffic, and we'll be talking about that. I'm very excited, to have you, Carl, and also we'll have Carl at our live event in New York in a few weeks. So happy, I'll be happy to see you in person, man.
For sure, bro. Excited to be here and excited to see you in person soon in New York.
Cool, awesome. So, yeah, guys, just drop like if you can hear us well, like just drop any comments. Just drop here one, like just drop one in the comments so we can see that. Cool. Hey, Zarif. So we can see that sound is good and the video is good as well. And Carl, you have like some presentation, kind of like some slides.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
we can do one now.
Uh-huh.
For like,
You can do like I know you always prepare like your slides are always like mind blowing. So that's why I'm like, you know.
let me think, because this is only like 30 minutes, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I can jump into screen sharing. This would be some of the stuff that I'm going to share in New York too.
Yeah. Cool.
So I can do like the first half of the presentation or something, just to give everybody like a quick understanding of that.
Yeah. I think the crucial part is kind of like to help people understand like how the conversion rate optimization overall kind of like I think a lot of people like overcomplicating it or don't understand it or don't understand the correlation between different metrics, like in your funnel, like click-through rate, like cost per click, like average order value, ROAS, and kind of like how all of those metrics correlate with each other, because that's such a massive thing. Once you understand how impactful this can be, like then you start putting more effort in trying to understand the conversion on your own, like website or a funnel, and you will start making moves to improve that. So I think kind of like switching that belief and helping people to understand how impactful this is will be crucial.
Okay, sweet. Then let me jump into screen sharing. 1 second. Just have to open it up here. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, you
Oh
can.
yeah. I just have to enable it. Yep. Cool.
Okay, so you can see the presentation basically, right?
Yep.
Sweet. Then we'll just go into this. Perfect. So thank you for the introduction. Let's talk about metrics, KPIs, and why conversion optimization is really important. So for this, we need to get a better understanding of the metrics, KPIs, how they are correlated. I just have the ROAS in the center here. It's like the main metric that we like to look at. So basically, how profitable is our traffic, right? From the
I
traffic
I
that we
I I
buy.
see your screen. I don't know if your screen says Zoom Banden des Volbing.
Oh
Oh
no,
yeah. Yeah. It was
no.
something different. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Now it's good.
Um,
Now it's good.
Now you can see it. Or can you
Yeah.
see the
Now I can see
Safari?
it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, perfect. Just some German stuff. Sweet. So, what I have here, what we're talking about is the ROAS, right? That's the main metric that we like to look at. And I just want to break down how all of the different KPIs are correlated to each other. So, two things are playing into the ROAS, right? We have CPC, so how much you're paying per click on the one hand side, which is basically your ad performance. This is based on your media buying, your creatives, your copy, your hooks, and all of that stuff. And the CPC is basically calculated on CPM, so how much you're paying for all of those impressions, and then basically the click-through rate, right? So how many people click from your ad to your store. Then on the other hand, we have the EPC. So how much are you generating with each click on your store? So basically the website performance. And this is being calculated by a conversion rate, so how many people actually buy, and then the AOV, so how much basically they are buying. To give this some more context and an example calculations, I put down some numbers here. So let's say you have a CPM of $10, click-through rate of 1%. This will translate into a CPC of $1. On the other hand, your store has a conversion rate of 4% and an average value of $50. This will lead to you having an EPC, so earnings per click of $2 and a ROAS of 2. And now I want to give you guys an example, right? So let's say we do not touch the ads, we do not touch the creatives, everything stays the same in the ad performance, and we just want to focus on website performance. So let's say we can increase the conversion rate from 4 to 5%. This will translate
is that like realistic? Like, Carl, kind of like, like in terms of like setting expectations, what have you seen kind of like in your career? Like, and Carl worked with some like big, massive brands. Like he has so much experience, like working like different niches. What do you think is realistic? Like if you really kind of like dedicate yourself, what was like kind of like the average, and also what would be the outlier, like improvement in conversion rate?
The crazy stuff that we've ever done, and this was also with our first client that we've ever worked with together, he basically had a general store, right? So he was selling these kitchen accessories next to leggings, next to dog beds, like everybody's doing in the beginning, right? Testing products, having a general store, no branding, no nothing. And he was converting at a 0.3% conversion rate. So what we did is we jumped on a call, we started analyzing how the products were performing and all that stuff. And then we could see that his main selling product was the dog beds. So the dog beds were doing like 95% of the revenue. So we were like, okay, let's kick out the leggings, let's kick out the kitchen accessories, or whatever else products you're testing, and let's completely rebrand the store to being a dog brand now. So we changed the copywriting, we changed the pictures, we threw out all of the other products, and we gave some complementary products. So we had the dog bed as the main product where all the attention went to. And then we added a lot of complementary products. So dog harnesses, dog leashes, all of those accessories, and a lot of pictures, right? And then we created the storyline of being a dog brand, changed the logo, changed the fonts, changed the colors, and pushed a new theme live with all of the changes. And from one day to the other, we exploded the conversion rate from a 0.3 to a 2.8% conversion rate. And this was the craziest fucking shit we ever did.
Wow.
And this literally blew my mind to like what is possible just by making changes on your store. So he was still pushing the same traffic, same ads, same creatives to the store, but now it was performing so much better because the people that have a dog at home got to the store now and everything resonated so much with them. From the messaging, from the offer, from the brand vibe, it just so resonated with them so that now more people were converting and more people were buying. So this was like the crazy shit that we've done. Obviously, one case study, but what's really realistic is to see improvements in conversion rate really consistently, obviously depending on your size, but we see this for the 7, 8, and 9-figure brands of somewhere between 5 to 15% per quarter, really consistently. Obviously, more in the 15% per quarter when you're a 7-figure brand, more in the, let's say, 5% when you're like an 8, 9-figure brand. Because obviously at some point,
but I mean, those little improvements mean like, extra like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
yeah, let's get back to the. I usually like distract people all the time, so that's my wife.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Can you see the screen again?
Yeah.
The Safari this time. Okay, perfect. So let's get back to this example. Let's say we increase conversion rate from 4% to 5%. This will get your earnings per click from $2 to $2.5 and your ROAS from 2 to 2.5. And let's say then we increase the average order value from $50 to $60. This will translate into an EPC of $3 and a ROAS of 3. So we didn't change anything in the ads. The only thing that we did was improve the website performance, and we took the ROAS from 2 to 3, right? And this can be a day-to-night difference from having a break-even or slightly unprofitable traffic to being highly profitable and making a lot of money, right? So this is basically the impact of CRO. And really interesting question that Alex did in the beginning is what happens when you don't do CRO? For all of the people that neglect CRO, what happens? And for this, I want to quote a good friend of mine, Ian Nagy, and he's running a YouTube agency, and they spend over $150 million on ads for people like David Fogarty. And they A/B tested hundreds of creators and spent millions on single ad sets while not having a single test on the landing page. And he said this to me in a meeting that we had, and he was like, I don't want to know how much fucking money we left on the table, right? Imagine
Crazy.
spending this much money on ads, and you're literally running hundreds of creative tests, but the landing page is the same all the time. And you've seen on this example how big of a difference the website performance can be when you have the same ad performance, right? So basically, if you don't do CRO and you're at a certain level and you spend a certain amount of money on your traffic, you're leaving a fuck ton of money on the table. So that's all to the
it's
topic
kind of
of
like
why
it's kind of like
sourcing.
on one side, right? Like you don't want to kind of like you don't want to ruin like what's working, right? But on the other side, I mean, you always have to look for improvements, right? Like you always have to like I think there's like two sides to this. Like one side is like when people like totally like change the website, like rebrand it, because like they heard it from someone somewhere, like kind of like make rapid changes to successful business, right? That's what you don't want to do, right? Like if you have like something that's working, what you don't want to do is kind of like ruin it. I've done it, and I know other like successful people that have done it kind of like you know so I think there is like a process and a system to do it, and that's what you specialize in terms of kind of like how to do it in the right way without making a damage to a business that's performing, right? You don't want to ruin like what's working.
Yeah, for sure. So looking at the time, quick question for you, bro. Do you want to focus on consumer psychology and like the basics of what makes people convert, so more of the psychology, or do you want to focus on the A/B testing process that we use for our clients? I can jump into both. Either way, talk about foundations of converting
Yeah,
people or the process that you can use to A/B test changes.
we
Up to
we
you.
have we have like 15 minutes. Let's do psychology. Let's do kind of like the consumer kind of like psychology.
Okay, sweet. Perfect. Then,
Yeah, I'll share again.
how do we do CRO now? This all starts with understanding of what makes people convert. And for this, I've brought a really, really interesting framework. It's called the conversion formula. And this is nothing that I've come up with. This is something that MacLabs Institute from the United States came up with. And they put thousands of hours of research into this, and also hundreds of thousands of dollars into the research of coming up and understanding of what makes people actually buy. And the conversion formula is basically a conversion that happens based on 4M, 3V, 2I minus F, and 2A. And now you're like, okay, what the fuck does all of this mean, right? First of all, before I jump into this and break this down, this is not a formula that you have to solve. This is rather a heuristic that shows you different factors that are playing into making people convert, and also how high these factors play into making people convert, right? So let's break this down. 4M means motivation. Then we have the value proposition, so the perceived value of the customer. Then we have incentive and friction on your store. And then we have the customer's anxiety. And all of these factors are playing into people buying from you. So breaking this down, motivation means you have to understand what thought stage is your customer in. Same from what you do in the marketing. So what awareness stage is your customer in? Are they top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, right? So you have to understand what do they already know and what do they still need to know. Then you have to understand where's the traffic coming from. Are you pushing traffic from TikTok ads, Facebook ads, Google retargeting, or whatever, right? Then what does your customer need to believe to buy? What are beliefs that they need to acquire in order to be able to buy from you? And then most importantly, what are their pain points and desires? So you need to be understanding these questions to serve your customer's motivation better. Then value proposition. You want to maximize the force of your perceived value. So for these, appeal, exclusivity, credibility, and clarity. What does this exactly mean? It means how desirable is the offer that you have to your target audience. And obviously, you can increase this by understanding your target audience better, right? Then you need to ask yourself, is this offer available anywhere else? Can they buy it from competitor X or Y, or can they only get it from me? Then you need to be building a lot of trust, right? Because your claims need to be trustworthy. Everybody can say the most outrageous claims, but then people are like, okay, whatever, I'm not listening to. So you need to make sure to build trust, to build authority and a connection to your target audience, that they actually trust what you are saying and trust your value proposition that you can deliver on that. And then lastly, you need to have clarity on what exactly is being offered. When people get on your page, is it complex or confusing, or is your value proposition really straight to the point and resonates with them instantly? Then what you have is incentive and friction playing together. What this means is you basically want to make it as easy as possible to buy, and you want to reduce friction in the customer journey and purchasing process. We have incentive on the one hand side to offset friction that we cannot eliminate. Friction means something like pressing the buy button or putting their details into the credit card and the checkout process, right?
Mm-hmm.
We cannot just delete those steps. We need them to fill in the information so that they can buy from us. So we need to give them incentive to go through with this. Then friction length and difficulty. So basically the steps and the questions that you're asking them or the form fields, they need to be reasonable. And you also want to minimize confusion and the effort needed to buy. And then lastly, people always have anxiety. They ask themselves, is this product really high quality? Are they really going to deliver it to me? When I get it, will I really be happy, right? They have all of this anxiety in them. So what you want to be doing now is you want to relieve the anxiety, or you want to correct the anxiety. And you can do this by understanding the really deep lying objections and pain points so that then you can handle them. And what you want to do is you basically want to place the answers to those objections really close to the key conversion steps. So for example, really close to the buy box, call to action, or something like that, right? So that just when you're asking for the action, you want to take the key objectives away. And then lastly, you can give a certain intensity to your objection handling, example given by framing. So all of these are playing into making people convert, and you need to be really aware of this. And then now you know what is all playing into people buying from you. I want to talk about how the conversion happens. And for this, I want to show this frame of the conversion pyramid. This is also from McLab's Institute. And think of this as like an inverted funnel, right? We don't have people as in the marketing falling into the funnel and then just like falling out of the funnel. We have this as a pyramid that people have to climb up, right? It's more effort from their side to buy. You have all these different steps. You have all of these micro yeses that need to happen for them to go to the macro yes, the conversion that they are buying from you. Let me give you a quick example. The bottom stage, for example, could be, is this value proposition appealing to me? Yes. How much am I willing to pay for it? Is the price really good for me? Yes. How long will it take to get shipped to me? 2 or 3 days. Okay, yes, right. So they have all these questions in the different steps of the customer journey. Can I
And
really trust them?
on each like stage, you will have people like dropping off, right? Like so. Like I mean, some
Exactly.
people will see the price on the store, they'll bounce, right? No, maybe it's about their budget. They don't want to spend that much, right? People want to see the shipping times. Oh, it's like 7 to 10 days. Oh, I don't want to wait that much, so they drop off. But I think what you're leading to is, and from my understanding, like conversion optimization is about kind of like reducing number of people that drop off on each stage of these kind of like on this funnel. It's like kind of like invert funnel. So it's like, as you said, it's like the regular funnels, like people see it like from the top to the bottom, and this is kind of like, from the bottom to the top.
Exactly. And you made some great points there. And this is why a lot of people have a huge drop-off rate from add to carts to initiate checkout to checkout completed, because they put a lot of effort into the landing page, have great copywriting, great offer, and then they just don't care about the shipping times, creating trust, payment providers, and all of that. Because some of the last questions that your customers will have when they are already convinced that this product is good and they are willing to pay the price and they want to buy it and they have the credit card ready, now they will have the last micro questions, micro yeses that you need to answer. How long will it take to get shipped to me? Do I have to pay extra for shipping? Which payment provider can I use, right? All of these small questions. And if you don't have answers to these questions in the cart or in the checkout process, people will still, in the last step, just fall off. Even if they're convinced by the value proposition, by the product, by the USPs, and by the offer that they want to buy it, they may still fall off. And this is why, and you made a great point, Alex, that you need to consider all of the steps in the customer journey, not just the landing page. You also need to be, after the landing page, focus on the cart. After the cart, focus on the checkout process. So you need to be thinking through all of the questions that people might have through these different steps. Because again, they need to have all of these micro yeses to get to the macro yes, the conversion.
Wow. And so, like, in terms of the, because I mean, some of the things that you mentioned, a great point, like with people having these objections right before, like, let's say they added product to the cart, now it's initiate checkout, it's the actual checkout page, checkout process. Now, as you know, and I know, and like everyone knows that, like Shopify is not extremely like flexible for those. I mean, especially on the regular like Shopify version. Have you seen, for instance, but like I mean, with Shopify Plus, you can be like more flexible. You can do like custom coding, like you can do modification to the checkout. So, have you seen like seeing brands that you work with, and you working with like 7, 8, 9 figure brands, that those that, for instance, like are using Shopify Plus are able to reduce this like rate by customizing their checkout and reducing that friction?
Yeah, yeah. So with the brands that are using Shopify Plus and running tests in the checkout, we've seen increases from 5 to 20% on the conversion rate just by doing in the last step of the customer journey, adding more trust, showing store benefits, showing progress that they have in the checkout, showing guarantees, showing reviews, upselling them, right? So there's like so much stuff that you can do to give this last incentive and this last trust that they need to follow through. And we have seen from 5% improvement to like 20%. And you can do the math yourself on what this means for an 8-figure brand, right? So the checkout is so essential in the last start of the customer journey.
So 5, 10, 20% like increase in conversion rate means like 5, 10, 20% increase in sales from the same amount of ad spend. Wow, that's crazy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. So like
This
okay,
is why
and uh-huh. Yeah.
I just wanted to say this is why whenever a brand hits, let's say 400, 500K in revenue, I advise them to go and buy Shopify Plus because their return on invest into Shopify Plus is like 2, 3, 4 times just by doing these changes in the checkout process as soon as you hit the 400, 500K a month mark.
Wow, that's awesome. So okay, so yeah, let's get back to the yeah, it's awesome. I think we've noticed also so many benefits of like using Shopify Plus. So for those of you guys like doing numbers, I mean that's definitely something that you want to do.
Yeah. So, I'm just thinking what to show now. Shall we go through like the foundations or the process? Because I see we just have like 6 more minutes.
Yeah, like let's do foundations.
Okay, let's do foundations.
Yeah,
Sweet.
we can do another one like in the community. Guys, you want to have another one? Just drop in the comments if you want to have another session with Carl. Or we'll go like in more detail on this.
Again, I will also share this complete presentation. It's usually like 45 to 60 minutes. This is exactly what I will be going through in detail in New York.
Yeah. Perfect.
Sweet. Can you see the screen again now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Why do we want to focus on the foundations? Because this is 20% of effort that you can be putting into your page and into your Shopify to get to 80% of the results. And then the A/B testing stuff that I always like to talk about is then the 80%, the heavy lifting to get the last 20%, right? So what I want you to do is you want to implement 3 golden rules. I will not have time to break down everything and explain it. So trust me on these, right? First golden rule, build for mobile. I oftentimes see people have a great desktop page, but then on mobile, it sucks. Like the sections are completely different. All the elements are on each other stacked, and it's just not good, right? So you want to build for mobile first. Everything needs to be looking great on mobile. This is the first
So
golden rule.
would you say like so Lululemon, for instance, like would you say this looks good as for mobile?
We did this ourselves. They don't have it as this. So I needed to optimize this for the mobile page as an example. When you go onto their website, they have like the add to cart and the variant selectors, each like really far down the page. And what you want to do is have all of this in the first page.
Oh, got it. Wow. And also like everything is like above default, right? Like
Yeah. So this is a
important
huge
kind of
thing.
like element.
I need to give this to you so you can forward it to them, Alex, and advice to.
Oh yeah, I worked with them in the past. I mean, they're like
Yeah,
fucking corporations, man. Like get something done is like
yeah,
yeah.
very crazy. So this is like the first thing. You need to be focused on how your page looks on mobile, have the important information above the fold. Secondly, build your page for page speed. Stay far away from too many apps, from too many page builders whatsoever. I have this great rundown of a study that people have been doing this April 2022 of analyzing 100 million sessions. And they basically brought down the change in conversion rate, change in revenue based on the different load times on your page. Again, I will not go into detail of this, explain too much. What you need to be doing to optimize your page speed is reduce your media assets. You want to go to something like tinyjpeg.com, iloveimage.com, upload all of your pictures, images, and GIFs there, compress it, download it. Then you want to be working with a Shopify 2.0 theme because they did a lot of great changes to make everything quicker. And then you want to be working with a skilled developer. Stay away from apps, page builders, work with a skilled developer who can custom code everything. Those are the three most important steps for page speed. Lastly, the store needs to be built for functionality. You want to make it as easy as possible to buy, reduce friction, easy to navigate, easy to use, customer-centric. Those are the three golden rules. Good to go. Then I'll go over the foundations because we have to wrap up soon.
Yeah, okay. So build for okay, cool. So how would you like so in terms of like testing and validating it, right? Like for example, easy to navigate, easy to use, customer centric. Okay, so what's kind of like easy to navigate for you might not be what's easy to navigate for me, and also might not be what's easy to navigate for my customers, right? Like so how do you actually validate this, and how do you get kind of like, where do you get this
Great
data
question.
from?
Best is to utilize the screen tracking software like Hotjar, Lucky Orange, or Microsoft Clarity, because then you will see how your target audience, your customers, the people that are buying from you, utilize your page. And you will see when friction occurs, right? So you will have a look at these screen recordings and you can see they may open the menu and then they're stuck on the menu and like scroll around for 10 seconds. So you know that you need to be optimizing the menu because they cannot navigate through it. Or maybe they are on the collection page and then they are trying these filters whatsoever, and they cannot find the product that they want to buy. And this will give you great insights on where you have friction, where you need to optimize. So have a look at these user recordings from Hotjar or Lucky Orange. And then based on this, you will see how people are interacting with the store and where to optimize.
Would you do user testing?
Pardon?
Like, let's say, would you do like user testing? For instance, let's say getting like 5 10 of your customers, offering them like a free product, and then like, hey, can you walk like, or maybe not customers, like maybe like random people that fit kind of like your demographic, giving them like a free product, hey, and like doing like a Zoom call with them to walk through your website and say like, oh, like this shit doesn't make sense here. Oh, I'm trying to do like, fuck, have you
Yeah.
seen that, work, like have you seen that being like useful?
For sure. So if you have the resources and the capacity to do this, or you can do this, this will be even better because then you're getting like direct feedback on what their thoughts are and not just have a look at the videos. But the videos are like the cheapest and easiest way to get it done. But if you have the means, for sure, go ahead and do user testing.
Because I think with conversion rate optimizations, like a lot of the things that pretty much kind of like stops people from experimenting and just making these like changes and testing new things and kind of like moving in a positive direction with this, understanding their target audience better to improve conversion, and I mean at the end of the day make more money, is their like kind of like personal attachment to their website. So like, oh, it's like we spent $25,000 on this website, let's not touch it, or like,
Yeah.
or oh, I built this website myself and it's converts, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's like, so I think kind of like those like personal attachments, like oftentimes, so if if we can help people kind of like change this belief that it always can be better, and those like minor, like even minor improvements, 5 10 20% might mean a lot, because that's an extra like profit that you generate in your business, extra profit you can reinvest in your ad spend, into sourcing better creatives, into building your team, into buying more inventory. So that's literally one of the biggest like leverage points in your business, and business is all about leverage, right? Like which button you can push to kind of like get more
Yeah.
output from what you're putting in. And a lot of people focusing on tactics from like Facebook. It's like, oh, it's like, how do I change this like targeting? Like, how do I like hit this like buyer's pocket? Usually it's like,
Yeah,
these things are not as impactful as what you described. And I think this is massive.
yeah, for sure. Key takeaway from this for all of the people listening, what we do with conversion and optimization is basically just understanding what your customers want and then give it exactly to them, right? You need to get a great understanding of the pain points, beliefs, motives, of desires of your target audience, because then you can optimize your messaging, your store, and everything so that it really resonates with them. You're basically a salesperson giving them exactly what they want to hear so they buy from you. And that's what conversion and optimization is all about.
For sure, moment. For sure. Thank you so much for jumping in. I know we had limited time. There's so value you're sharing. And guys, like, I mean, Carl is dropping some like mind-blowing nuggets on Twitter. So find him on Twitter. Like, he's tremendous, like, value add. Like, he's dropping value all the time. He'll be in our event in New York City. So if you want to join us live, see Carl live, and he'll bring a lot of goodies to New York. So yeah, Carl, thank you so much for jumping on. And guys, thank you so much for listening, and follow
Sure.
Carl on Twitter.
Thank you so much, brother. It was a great pleasure and looking forward to New York.
Yeah. See ya. Bye, guys. Thank you for watching.